for whatever reason, which we have to understand, of course. But yeah, just a lot of things to analyze.
He's roasting the car. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video, and today we're going to kick off. We'll have two videos today. Obviously, we did stream the 2022 F1 Bahrain Grand Prix. It was amazing. There is no way around it. It was one of the best races I've gotten to see. It had literally all of the types of drama. We had Pierre Gasly's car light on fire. We had Charles Leclerc pretty much leading the entire race. We had a safety car the final 7 laps. Amazing race from start to finish. What an amazing race. We finally got to see the F1 cars sort of in action, the middle of the pack, always super compact with each other, but the two main standout cars were Red Bull and Ferrari. And if you watched the race, if you watched, which by the way, link to the live stream is in the description below, please go give it a look. I had an absolute blast on it. The live stream quality will be improving as we get further and further along with F1, and whether it's, you know, us gaming on it or us just kind of chilling on it, the live streams will improve. But what an amazing race it was. Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull, Red Bull. We're going to take a look at Max Verstappen's interview, because if you hadn't watched the race yet, I won't spoil it for you. Oh my goodness, Red Bull. Yeah, let's get into Max Verstappen's reaction to the race. Let me know what you guys thought about the race, and let me know what you guys feel about him talking about this. So we're probably going to go through the first time and just let him talk and try to listen to see maybe if there's a little anger, if there's explanations for the things that went wrong. And then maybe the second time through, I'll go and ask through my questions. But yeah, let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can find the original video down in the description below, if it's still up. I hope it still is. But yeah, let's get into it.
Well, Max, massively frustrating, disappointing, gutting day for you. You know, given the performance of this car, for reliability to be your undoing today must be heartbreaking. We gather from Christian that the issues between you and Checo are so similar that they must be related. But can you tell us any more in terms of...
Because they got two issues. They got two issues with the car. Steering and then the power.
Well, the steering as well. So the steering was about being dropped in the pit stop, is that right?
I don't know. Well, we don't fully know or fully understand yet why it happened, but it definitely happened after the tires came on and I drove off. So something, yeah. You know, it was not even that the steering wheel just got heavy. It was just almost impossible to steer, and the faster I was going, it felt also like there was like a delay. So every time I was turning right, it took a while before something was happening. And then that's why my restart was very bad, because I wanted to go on throttle, but I couldn't open my wheel because it was stuck. So yeah, it was very hard out there. A lot of different issues we had to deal with, and this is of course not what you want to have. And the first race weekend, pace wasn't amazing. I think the balance was just not as good as on Friday for whatever reason, which we have to understand, of course. But yeah, just a lot of things to analyze.
He's roasting the car.
Of course, you can always say, you know, problems can happen, and you might have a retirement. But I think at this level, after already having so much information with engines and stuff, and it shouldn't happen, unfortunately.
Ultimately irrelevant to the result, given reliability issues. But what about those outlaps? You were sort of frustrated that you couldn't push harder. What more could you have done, do you think?
I didn't really push on my outlap.
No, but that's what I mean. What do you think you could have gained had you?
I could have been ahead twice, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, some positives to take. I know that the score sheet says otherwise, but a great little duel there with Charles. And the performance is in this car, isn't it? It's just the reliability that you need to sort.
It's there. It was not great today. I think we didn't really show what we could really do for whatever reason. But yeah, there is potential for sure. I mean, otherwise you are not up there. But we already lost a lot of points again in one race weekend, so that's just really not good. But
he's pissed. You can tell he's low-key pissed at the car and at the team. I have a feeling him and Perez are not happy at all. Also, this is like a great point that I stopped at for him. I made sure to not say anything. If this is you guys' first time watching this interview, I hope you guys at least got to sort of see his front. He's not ultimately frustrated or angry at the car per se. He's angry at how they operated. So the outlap issues was obviously getting out. Pretty much Ferrari always would respond to what Red Bull was doing. So Mercedes were the first ones to make a pit. They were well off the pace, so they weren't really worried. Red Bull made a double stop, and essentially when Ferrari went and did that, Red Bull advised Verstappen to not, you know, push it, not burn it on those out laps. And realistically, though, I don't think he could have ended up in front of Leclerc, just because, guys, Charles Leclerc was untouchable today. Every time Max Verstappen got close to him, anytime he overtook him, Leclerc would immediately re-overtake him. And that Ferrari car just looked phenomenal all day. All day it looked good, which is unbelievable, but all day it looked untouchable. And this is the big, guys, I love that this is the way that I'm sort of learning the sport. What an amazing race it was. We'll have the highlights reaction video up probably right after this one. It's going to be an absolute, but guys, what a barn burner of a race. I'm looking forward to the explanations. We're going to go back through the interview one more time, and then we'll talk a little bit more. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but I'm going to go through it and stop when we get to certain points, just to sort of ask questions for you guys or what you guys' thoughts are. Okay.
Well, Max, massively frustrating.
Also, his hat's too big for his
day
head.
for you. You know, given the performance of this car, for reliability to be your undoing today must be heartbreaking. We gather from Christian.
They didn't even talk about the engine
between
failures.
You and Checo were
Or
so
fuel
similar that
failures,
they must
whichever
be
one it is.
related. But can you tell us any more in terms of what it felt like in the car?
Oh, well,
Well, the steering as well. So the steering was
So
about...
he had a steering issue, he had an outlap issue, and then I don't know if it's fuel or engine related. I don't know if Red Bull have come out and said it. Guys, it seems engine related. It has to be engine related because the AlphaTauri with Pierre Gasly, who was like alone in P8, by the way, he was just kind of alone chilling, legitimately lit on fire. It just straight up shut down and lit on fire, which a video, hopefully we'll get a video out on that tomorrow when we figure out more, and when hopefully more people like The Race or WTF1 or Josh Rebel, whichever one of the big F1 creators is able to at least fill me in and help me out figuring out what happened. But the only Red Bull car to finish was Yuki Tsunoda. The only one. That's nutty. That's not good. That's not good. And I mean, Mercedes were well off the plot, but Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes were right in the thick of it.
Fully understand yet why
They were ready
it
for a
definitely
team to
happened
fail
after
in the front,
tires
and they were
came
going
on
to take
and I
that
drove
spot.
off. So something, yeah, you know, it was not even that the steering wheel just got heavy. It was just almost impossible to steer, and the faster I was going, it felt also like there was like a delay. So every time I was turning right, it took a while before something was happening, and then that's when my restart was very bad because I wanted to go on throttle, but I couldn't open my wheel because it was stuck. So yeah, it was very hard out there. A lot of different issues we had to deal with, and this is of course not what you want to have. And the first race weekend, pace wasn't amazing. I think the balance was just not as good as on Friday for whatever.
Yeah, I was
reason.
going to say, in terms of fastest laps though, Sergio Perez had a couple, and then Leclerc had the rest of them. And I mean, it may probably because he's leading from the front, but still, the Red Bull car I think has the pace for it. They just mucked up. I think they just mucked up everything else, which I think that's why he talks about the outlaps here.
Of course, but yeah, just a lot of things to analyze, to be honest. And of course, you can always say, you know, I think problems can happen, and you might have a retirement, but I think at this level,
and they lose a
after
lot of
already having
points
so much
too.
information
Even
and
Mercedes
engines and
gets
stuff,
points in front of them.
It shouldn't happen, unfortunately.
Ultimately irrelevant to the result, given reliability issues. But what about those outlaps? You were sort of frustrated that you couldn't push harder. What more could you have done, do you think?
I didn't really push on my outlap.
No, but that's what I mean. What do you think you could have gained had you?
I could have been
able
ahead
to?
twice, yeah.
Do you think
But
so?
would you have stayed ahead?
And finally, some positives
so.
to take. I know that the score sheet says otherwise, but a great little duel there with Charles, and the performance is in this car, isn't it? It's just the reliability that you need to
It's
sort.
there. It was not great today. I think we didn't really show what we could really do for whatever reason. But yeah, there is potential for sure. I mean, otherwise you are not up there. But we already lost a lot of points again in one race weekend, so that's just really not good. But of course, I know that with one retirement it's not over. But I would have preferred to have at least 18 points.
That's so disappointing. You could tell he's so pissed about that. You could tell he wanted those points too. And the fact that Mercedes 3-4, I did say in the live stream multiple times, I said Mercedes know that they are not on the race level. Like Toto Wolff came out before the race even started and said Mercedes are not as quick as the Red Bull or Ferrari yet. And so literally Lewis Hamilton and George Russell were just sitting waiting for either one of them to crash or one of them to mess up. Whether it was the Ferrari over the Red Bull, and then they were going to take their place. Lewis Hamilton was trying to track Perez down as soon as Verstappen retired, and he wasn't even gaining on Sergio Perez while he was having those same engine issues, and then Perez turned out or spun out on turn 1, and it was over for him. So that was insane to see. But yeah, go check out the highlights on the F1 channel. Go check out our reaction to the highlights, and then please go check out the live stream. It was an absolute blast to watch the race. I had an absolute blast. I've had an absolute blast learning the sport, and it's fun to sort of be in the thick of it now that the season has started. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.